What comes to mind when you think of George Washington? Do you think of his presidency? His role in the American Revolution? Do you think of him as the boy who chopped down the cherry tree? Well, there's an unexpected side of George Washington that many don't know about. And that side is George Washington, the entrepreneur. That's the focus of a new project at the University of Virginia, to give us access to the financial papers of George Washington. By digitizing these papers for the first time, we can learn more about the man and more about how to manage a multi-dimensional enterprise. In his financial papers, we can see how Washington exhibited the values that were key to succeeding in business then and today. His entrepreneurial spirit, his attention to detail, his decisiveness, his willingness to take educated risks. These attributes helped him run an enterprise that thrived in the most challenging times, even when managing affairs from afar during the American Revolution and his presidency. The financial papers also show a more personal side of this great man. He began keeping financial records as a teenager and continued throughout his entire life. The result? Thousands of pages of financial records with tens of thousands of transactions revealing his personal and commercial relationships in great detail. The financial papers of George Washington aren't just about history. They document activities and transactions with people of all ranks and situations. The financial papers capture our collective heritage and have tremendous relevance today. The integrity of Washington and his diligent documentation of financial transactions are a useful example for today's business and industry. We can learn from his practices of transparency, from his personal expense accounts presented to Congress at the end of the Revolutionary War to the records of his farms, fishery, and distillery. His attention to detail was remarkable. Every ledger for his business was reviewed and signed, every transaction recorded for posterity. The papers show how Washington nurtured sound and trustworthy business relationships, and they reflect his entrepreneurial spirit as he experimented with new methods and technology, both in his agricultural endeavors and in his distillery. The financial papers will be an important teaching tool and resource for business people, students of all ages, and the general public. By assembling this body of detailed documentation in an interactive database and making it available online, we ensure this important resource is available in our nation's business and commerce schools and to students at all levels. The challenging task of digitizing these documents is key to making them accessible on a global scale. Only then can individuals, educators, and businesses learn from the vision and values that Washington brought to his commercial ventures. The Papers of George Washington is the best, most accurate, and most complete edition of Washington's papers ever prepared, and the only project of its kind to be awarded the National Humanities Medal. No project has ever been so well positioned to undertake this work, but funding is essential to make the most of this opportunity. Your support for the financial papers of George Washington will make his storied virtue and values a new model for entrepreneurship in the 21st century and beyond.